Welcome to a place of calm storytelling. Here you'll find gentle tales designed to keep you company while you study, travel, or drift to sleep. Each episode is crafted to feel soothing, immersive, and timeless, like a lantern glowing softly in the night. If you enjoy peaceful journeys told in a warm voice, you're in the right place. Settle in, press play, and let the stories guide you. Crescent Moon, the Lantern of Whispering Pines. A calming 30-minute storytelling podcast script. Introduction. Good evening, dear listener. Settle in, take a slow breath, and let the day melt away. Tonight, I'll take you on a gentle journey, a story about a quiet village, a wandering traveler, and a lantern said to carry whispers of the forest. This is not a tale of danger or fear, but one of calm discovery, friendship, and the soft magic of the night. Part 1, The Traveler Arrives. Once, on the edge of a wide valley, there was a village known as Whispering Pines. Tall evergreens stood like guardians, and the wind through their needles made a sound like hushed voices, as though the trees themselves were speaking. One autumn evening, a traveler named Ilara arrived at the village. She carried little more than a satchel, a notebook, and a lantern that had long since lost its flame. Her footsteps were steady, but her heart was searching, for rest, for meaning, for something she could not yet name. The villagers welcomed her with quiet smiles. They offered warm bread, a seat near the fire, and a place to sleep. But what caught Ilara's attention most was an old story told that night, of a lantern hidden in the forest, one that glowed with a light not of this world. It was said that if you carried it, the forest itself would share its secrets. Part 2, The Forest Path. The next morning, mist curled low across the ground. Ilara set out with her empty lantern in hand, guided only by the whisper of the pines. The forest path was soft, blanketed with fallen needles. Each step felt like walking deeper into a dream. Birdsong drifted overhead, gentle and unhurried. Now and then, she paused to listen, and in the stillness, she thought she heard words in the wind. Not sentences, not clear voices, but a rhythm that tugged at her heart. Hours passed this way. The forest did not frighten her, instead, it felt like a companion, urging her forward with patience. Part 3, The Keeper of the Lantern. At last, Ilara came upon a clearing. At its center stood a small wooden hut, its roof covered in moss. Outside sat an old man, his hair white as frost, his eyes kind and clear. He introduced himself simply as the keeper. Without asking, he seemed to know why she had come. "The lantern you carry," he said, looking at the empty glass in her hand, "is waiting to be lit. But not with fire. It can only shine with what your heart is willing to hear." He led her inside, where shelves of unlit lanterns hung like silent stars. "Each one," he whispered, "belongs to a traveler who once sought the forest's voice. To carry a lantern is to listen." Part 4, The Light of Listening. That evening, Ilara sat by the hut's window as the forest darkened. She placed her lantern on the sill. Outside, the wind moved through the trees, soft as a lullaby. And then, slowly, gently, her lantern began to glow. Not with flame, but with a pale silver light, shimmering like moonlight caught in glass. Ilara listened until her breath matched the rhythm of the forest. She felt her worries loosen, her restless searching quiet. The lantern had not given her answers, but it had given her calm. Part 5, The Return. When morning came, Ilara thanked the keeper and made her way back to the village. Her lantern glowed softly, even in daylight. The villagers welcomed her with warm smiles once more. Some noticed the lantern and bowed their heads, as if recognizing an old friend. Ilara did not boast, nor did she tell them all she had heard. She simply sat among them, sharing bread and laughter, carrying her quiet light. From that day forward, whenever she walked the forest paths, she felt accompanied, not by loneliness, but by the whispers of the pines, steady and eternal. Closing reflection. And so, dear listener, may you carry your own lantern, not one of glass, but of stillness within. May you hear the soft voices of your world, whether in rustling leaves, flowing water, or the rhythm of your own breath. Rest now. Study with ease. Travel with peace. The lantern of whispering pines will glow for you, too. In the calm that embraces our hearts, we move on to a new story, like the wind gently passing one leaf to another. The River of Quiet Dreams. The night opened wide across the valley. The river moved slowly, carrying the stars upon its surface. The air was cool and filled with the scent of pine and dew. A hush wrapped the traveler in stillness. She had no map, no clock, only the steady wish for calm. Her steps pressed into the earth with patience, her heart slowing to the rhythm of the world around her. The silver path shimmered beneath her feet, a ribbon of light woven by the moon. The forest leaned close, forming arches of shadow and glow. Her eyes softened with every step, her mind loosening its knots. She did not chase answers. She did not need a destination. The journey itself whispered peace, and the journey itself was enough. Among the tall trees, she found a clearing where a lantern rested upon stone. It did not burn with fire but glowed pale and steady, as though the glass carried a drop of night sky. Its light touched the branches with gentle silver and spread across the grass with quiet grace. Her thoughts slowed until they melted into the calm that surrounded her. She sat near the stone, her hands resting loosely in her lap. Her breath was deep and soft, and the air carried the scent of dew and distant flowers. The lantern asked nothing, it gave everything. She let its glow wash over her like water over smooth stone. Closing her eyes, she felt the forest breathing with her, each leaf, each rustle, harmonizing with the rhythm of her heart. A stream murmured softly beyond the clearing, steady, patient, unhurried. She rose and followed the sound, her steps guided by curiosity yet wrapped in calm. The path led her to a pool reflecting the moonlight, leaves drifting like forgotten dreams. Kneeling by the water, she touched the surface and felt coolness slip across her fingers, carrying away her last lingering worries. The stream did not demand. It spoke only in its own language, the rhythm of flowing water, the patience of stone worn smooth by time. She listened and understood without words. The stream taught her stillness. It carried balance. She realized it whispered directly to her heart, breathe slowly, breathe deeply, all is already enough. In the distance, fireflies danced among the ferns, their gentle glow like tiny lanterns guiding her gaze. She watched them float, unhurried, each movement deliberate yet effortless. The light moved through the shadows, tracing patterns across moss and earth, and she felt herself dissolving into the calm beauty around her. The forest did not hurry, she did not need to either. The wind shifted softly, carrying hints of lavender and pine, brushing against her skin with a tender touch. Each sound was a note in a quiet symphony, the ripple of water, the whisper of leaves, the distant call of an owl. She leaned back, letting the earth hold her, the lantern illuminating a small circle of peace, and she felt her mind unclench, releasing thoughts she had carried too long. She walked slowly along the stream's edge, her reflection shimmering in the water. The lantern's soft glow followed her, casting gentle shadows on the moss-covered stones. Every step felt like a dance with the night, her senses attuned to the subtle movements of the forest. The air was cool, calm, and filled with a rhythm that mirrored her own steady heartbeat. Tiny crickets chirped in a delicate cadence, adding a gentle percussion to the symphony of the night. She paused, letting the sound wrap around her like a warm blanket, her eyes drifting to the sky. Stars glimmered faintly, scattered across the dark velvet above. Their light felt ancient and familiar, like old friends watching quietly over her journey. Further along the path, she discovered a grove of silver-leaved trees, their branches intertwined to form natural arches. Moonlight spilled through the gaps, dappling the forest floor with soft luminescence. She stepped beneath the branches and felt as if she had entered a sacred space, each breath synchronized with the slow sway of the leaves overhead. A gentle breeze stirred the surface of the water, sending ripples that reflected lanterns of light from unseen sources. Elara leaned forward, letting her hand skim the stream. The cool liquid trickled through her fingers, carrying away lingering tension. The forest seemed to sigh with her, an echo of peace and understanding that needed no words. She continued walking, her path guided by curiosity and trust. Each step unfolded like a page in a book written by the night itself. The sounds of the forest, once distant, now surrounded her fully, a woodpecker tapping softly, an owl calling somewhere high above, and the ever-present whisper of the river moving through its quiet course. Eventually, the forest opened into a wide meadow bathed in moonlight. The grass swayed gently, as though acknowledging her arrival. She sat down, letting her back rest against a large, smooth stone. The lantern beside her glowed steadily, illuminating a small circle of serenity. In that moment, she felt wholly embraced by the quiet, and the night seemed to whisper that all was well. The meadow smelled of soft grass and night-blooming flowers, a gentle perfume that drifted through the air. Elara closed her eyes, letting the scent mingle with the cool breeze on her skin. Each inhalation felt like a soft wave washing over her mind, clearing away lingering tension and leaving only serenity in its wake. She let herself simply exist, fully present in the quiet night. Above, the stars twinkled in subtle patterns, their distant light mirrored faintly in the lantern's glow. She tilted her head, tracing constellations as if they told stories only she could hear. The gentle hum of the universe seemed to seep into her very being, filling her with a sense of belonging and quiet wonder that stretched across both time and space. A soft rustle drew her attention to a family of rabbits cautiously emerging from the edge of the meadow. They moved with slow, deliberate steps, ears twitching as they explored. Watching them, Elara felt a connection to the life around her, an understanding that all creatures moved with their own rhythm and that she, too, could rest within the natural cadence of the night. The river murmured nearby, a steady voice calling her gently. She rose and walked toward it, letting the lantern light her way. Each step was unhurried, each movement deliberate. The water glimmered under the moonlight, reflecting the trees and sky in soft, fluid patterns that seemed alive. She paused, letting the gentle sound fill her ears, grounding her in the present. Elara knelt beside the river once more, letting her fingers trail through the cool surface. Tiny ripples formed and spread outward, catching reflections of light like liquid stars. She felt a sense of release, as if every worry, every lingering thought, had been absorbed by the water and carried away quietly, leaving her mind as clear and open as the night sky above. She settled back on the riverbank, the lantern casting its glow in a protective circle around her. The night seemed to breathe with her, each whisper of wind, each subtle sound of life, forming a lullaby meant solely for her. She allowed herself to sink deeper into calm, letting the rhythm of the forest, the river, and the stars guide her gently toward rest. The moon climbed higher, casting long silver shadows across the meadow. Elara felt the gentle pull of tiredness in her limbs, a soft weight that was welcome rather than burdensome. She stretched and yawned quietly, letting the peaceful rhythm of the night settle into her chest. Every breath aligned with the quiet pulse of the earth, steady, calm, and untroubled. Fireflies flickered lazily through the air, their warm light dancing over the grass and mingling with the lantern's gentle glow. Elara watched them drift, each movement unhurried, like delicate whispers of the night. Their slow, effortless flight reminded her that she, too, could let go, drift, and be carried gently into rest without resistance or worry. The river whispered beside her, a constant companion. Its soft babbling mingled with the rustle of leaves and the distant call of owls. The sound was a lullaby, natural and timeless. Elara leaned back against the smooth stone once more, letting her shoulders drop, her eyes close, and her mind wander freely among the patterns of moonlight on the water. A breeze brushed her face, carrying the scent of pine and lavender. Each inhalation felt like a gentle caress, soothing the last remnants of tension from her body. Her thoughts no longer raced, they floated like leaves on the river's surface, carried softly away by the night. She felt a deep calm settle into every muscle, every pulse, every heartbeat. Stars shimmered faintly overhead, each one like a tiny promise of continuity and peace. Ilara's eyelids grew heavier, her mind becoming a gentle current flowing toward dreams. The lantern's glow dimmed softly in her vision, not extinguished but steady, a guiding light. She surrendered to the gentle pull of sleep, allowing herself to drift without fear, without haste, fully embraced by the night. As she slipped into the quiet world of dreams, the forest seemed to bend protectively around her. The river sang, the wind whispered, and the stars watched silently. Everything was exactly as it should be, balanced, gentle, and calm. In the embrace of the night, Ilara was home, and for the first time in many journeys, she rested completely, carried safely on the river of quiet dreams. And before we close tonight's journey, if you enjoyed this story and felt a sense of peace, I'd be grateful if you could support this channel. A simple like helps more listeners find these calming tales. And if you'd like to hear more stories, don't forget to subscribe so you'll always have a new journey waiting for you, whether studying, traveling, or drifting off to sleep. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. Until next time, may your path be calm and your lantern always bright.